Hi there, welcome to I'll on Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Leo energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because we've all been younger, we've all been more immature, and life's about learning lessons. And we've all got our shadow nature, which is like our fear and our insecurity and our pride and our ego and our lazy and want reward without effort and being more consumed with our self nature. And some people still are more invested in that way of being. Other people kind of grew up, learned lessons, detached from some more their more worldly, shadowy ways of being, and they're a more emotionally mature, stable, grounded person who is being authentic. They are who they say they are. And shadowy people can try to present themselves as being that type of person, but that's not really the truth of who they are. They're just trying to create an illusion that they're more stable, grounded, mature than they really are. So, anyway, they're going to handle this energy differently because we either are enlightened to the truth and we temper our egoic nature. We treat other people the way we like to be treated. We work together with people cooperatively out of love and maturity. And some people don't. And so how they're going to be handling themselves and the actions of how they'll harness this energy will be different. So listen to your intuition about, we all tap into Leo energy because Leo has to do with our egoic nature. With every one of the zodiac signs, we have the free will. Do I harness my emotional nature, my fire sign energy, my worldly nature in a more high vibrational way? Or do I harness it in a more shadowy way? Do I use my emotions manipulatively? Do I use my words manipulatively? We're either trying to kind of be more about ourselves and kind of manipulate people to get what we want, or we're working together with them cooperatively from love to work together with us. So, I kind of view this as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And the way I read tarot, the queens can represent how we think and feel. The masculine energies, over here we have the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. And here we have the Five of Wands. Those are all depicting masculine figures. The masculine cards can just represent how people are presenting themselves in the world, because when we go take action in the world, it's considered masculine energy. Nobody really knows how we think and feel. We can all present ourselves any way we want to. The King of Pentacles would be that we're stable and grounded and emotionally mature, that people should want to go into business with us, hire us, date us, marry us. And the Knight of Cups, that we're motivated and inspired by love. But some people really are emotionally. I view the Queen of Pentacles as Taurus energy. That really is their philosophy of life. That is their truth. They have emotionally grown and matured themselves. Male or female. Some men, some women are going out in the world. They are emotionally mature people. They are motivated and inspired by love. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, meaning they're people who go with the flow. They're not the boss. They don't control things. They can't control other people. Realize they can't change other people. Everyone has their philosophy of life and their Taurus energy. And, if there's some people in our life who are like, no, I'm not interested in moving forward in that way. High vibe people aren't operating from their ego. They say, emotionally, they accept the truth. And high vibe, the pentacle is about truth and love, because that's what really makes you abundant in your life. And because you invest in yourself emotionally to grow and mature yourself, then you can put in work and effort. And in high vibe Taurus energy, put in work and effort and act with character and integrity to, have jobs and have stability and security in your life. But we can all know some people that they might like to present themselves as stable, grounded, emotionally mature people. But the Knight of Cups can represent that some people have some illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And they might have some lessons to learn. They might emotionally want to have a job, be in a friendship, work together with other people. But shadowy Taurus energy and shadowy Leo, they can be a little stubborn, a little difficult to work with, kind of immature, unbudging, not willing to go with the flow. They want to move forward, but they want to keep moving forward the way they are, like I don't really go with the flow. It's a little bit more about me and how I want it. And I want to work together with other people, but it has to be a little bit more about me. People, that's shadowy energy, the big picture represented by the devil. I kind of want it to be a little bit more about me. I want people to view me a certain way. And I like to think of myself as being mature and stable and grounded and loving. But it has to be a little bit more about me. And at the end of the story, we have the Four of Wands, which is Aries energy about the self. But the Four of Wands can talk about wanting to come together with other people. The Four of Wands, you could look at it as being made up of the Two of Wands, which can be about I have a dream, you have a dream, other people have a dream. Well, if we're going to come together in a relationship or a foundation, it shouldn't be more about you and your dream, and it shouldn't be more about me and my dream. We're supposed to be inspired in fire sign energy. Aries and Leo are both fire sign energy. To be inspired to emotionally grow and mature ourselves out of love. And then the King and the Queen of Pentacles would be a match. We both are who we say we are. We both are willing and inspired to work together cooperatively from love. And, you could even look at, with our dualistic nature, that in our more worldly Two of Wands energy, well, I kind of want these things and I kind of want it more about myself. But in my Two of Wands nature of I want to work together with other people and I want to come in relationship with other people, I maintain balance within myself between me in the masculine cards can represent in shadow that we're operating more from our ego. There could be a part of me that wants to be in this illusion that it's a little bit more about me and operate from my ego or my defensive nature. But my emotionally loving nature, kind of offers love to my egoic nature of self to work together cooperatively. And then everybody has to take responsibility for that within themselves to temper their ego nature, so that they can work together with people cooperatively. And we can all have people in our life that are doing that work within themselves to maintain balance within themselves, temper their ego nature, to work together with us. And we can have people in our life, in friendships, in workplaces, in communities, where we're kind of motivated and inspired to work together with each other from an emotionally mature kind of way of being because of love. And then we can have other people in our life that we might want to, in the Wheel of Fortune, move away from. Because you can want to work together with them cooperatively. They might want to work with you, but they kind of want it to be a little bit more about it being about them. Or being kind of stubborn, operating more from their egoic nature. I'm defensive, I'm manipulative, I'm more about me, I'm kind of stubborn, and then they want you to keep moving forward with them in that way. And it's like, if I don't have to spend time with you very much, I'm not going to spend time with you very much. I see the truth. Again, holding one pentacle can be I see the truth. And I'm not going to get in my ego. If there's people I try to emotionally invest in, and I see that they're kind of more tipped in favor of operating from their ego, I've already dealt with people who are like that. I wish you peace. Thank you for Luckily, I've learned to listen to my intuition and not stay in denial. And I accept the truth now when people show me who they are. Where before I might have stayed in friendships and relationships with people for a long time. Or it might have really put me up in my ego. Like, why are they acting like that? Why don't they like me? Why are they kind of being snarky? Why are they kind of being whatever? It's like, I'm not going to be in my ego about it anymore. I'm going to accept the truth because the truth sets me free. I'm going to keep maintaining balance within myself. I see the truth that you would like to move forward in some type of relationship dynamic with me, but that's how you operate. You are more emotionally inspired to operate from your egoic nature, being a little bit more about yourself, not really working cooperatively with people, and you have some illusions about life and relationships that I've already been there and done that. So the high vibe people are going to move away from people like that. And then we have the Fool card, which is also Aries energy, fire sign energy, to take a leap of faith, go on a new journey. I've already been on that journey. We'll keep repeating old patterns over and over and over until we learn the lesson we were meant to learn. And once we see the truth, oh, is that why I do that? Oh, is that why they do that? Oh, where I needed to get out of my ego about it. I'm going to let other people be whoever they want to be. And I'm just going to accept the truth when they show it to me. Not going to stay, because shadowy energy is staying in denial of the truth. Like, oh, I can change them. Oh, I'm sure they'll come around. And it's like, if people were motivated and inspired in their philosophy of life and their truth, because Taurus energy represents our philosophy of life. It's like the Supreme Court within ourself. We debated back and forth with ourselves about these different issues of how we should treat other people, how we should view other people, how we should act and behave, and what our truth is. And then that is kind of what dictates, emotionally, kind of dictates the actions that we take in the world. If we are living more from our mind than our heart, wearing a false mask, more about ourselves, trying to manipulate people, or if we really emotionally are someone who is authentic, we're not trying to manipulate people, we're not trying to control people, we're not more about ourselves, and we really are willing to work together with people cooperatively from love. And we've got to listen to our intuition about who's who, and when they act certain ways and behave certain ways, we don't stay in denial of the truth about it. So the high vibe people, I'm not repeating that pattern. I see you kind of choose in your free will to take certain ways of acting and behaving. I wish you peace. I'm moving on because I'm going on a new journey. I'm not going to repeat that old pattern. Why? Because of the Six of Pentacles, which is also Taurus energy, and the Hangman, which is Pisces energy, which is, again, kind of like the Knight of Pentacles, I view as Pisces energy. Me and my ego in the past, I really could have been a little more tipped out of balance, where, because maybe being a very loving person, you can be really motivated and inspired to offer love and encouragement to other people, but you could tend to kind of get in more mismatched relationships where you would kind of indulge people in their poor behavior, thinking that, and you can be loving and encouraging kind of and supportive and work together with people cooperatively, but I'm not going to be in denial of the truth. You've already shown me the truth of who you are. There has maybe been many examples, and I'm not going to get in a more involved relationship with you. You stay in the friend zone. You're a coworker. You're someone I know. Am I going to invest more time and energy and effort into you than necessary and try to get you to change? No. I accept that you are where you're at. I've been enlightened to the truth that everyone has their way in the Six of Pentacles of Taurus energy of how they like to exchange time, energy, effort, and resources with people. And shadowy hangman can be that some people could feel stuck, something didn't work out in their life, and so they could be looking to get in friendships and relationships with other people, but they exchange resources with people more because, like, I am stuck. Well, that other thing didn't work out. Now I want to go on a new journey with you. Will you be my friend? It's like, well, the little bit I've kind of interacted with you, I've kind of seen that you have these certain ways of being. And that is like a shadowy Taurus relationship where it is kind of more transactional. A high vibe Taurus relationship, and high vibe Leo, and high vibe Aries, and Pisces is where people are being authentic and loving and encouraging. They maintain balance within themselves because they've been enlightened to the truth that, you know, that's how you work cooperatively. That's how things move forward smoothly and easily and victoriously. But some people keep thinking, no, 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 something else didn't work out, and I still haven't been illuminated to the truth. And I still have this idea of how I think I can interact and behave in relationships with people, which is still operating more from their ego. Like, well, no, I have my way of viewing how this should work out and how what it should look like and what I think is just and fair. But it can be that they don't really want to see things from anyone else's perspective. They have their perspective, and people who have a shadowy philosophy of life, of relationships, it can just, Taurus is fixed sign energy. It's hard to move things just on the earthly plane, right? To get people to look at life differently, to try to see things from other people's perspectives. We all kind of grow up in our certain communities and our states and our countries, and we grow up with other people who have certain ways of living life and viewing life, and we've had our own life experiences, and we did the debate within ourselves, and we came to a conclusion that we thought this is just and fair. Some people, they are harnessing high vibe Taurus, high vibe Pisces. They have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. They do equal give and take with people. They're not being defensive and manipulative and egoic. And they did that enough with different people, realizing that not everybody works together with other people that way. Some people, very much, it's more kind of their way or the highway. Or if you don't indulge me, or if you don't let me manipulate you, or if I am more motivated by and emotionally more invested in me, or these things I like to make my life about, or whatever it is, that's my truth, and that's what kind of drives and motivates me, and that's what I want to invest my time and energy into, and that's what I think is important, more so than love and treating people in a just and fair way and acting with character and integrity. High vibe Taurus acts with character and integrity, where you really are who you say you are. And some people are like, well, no, I just present myself as being that type of person. And then you're supposed to kind of buy into the illusion, and you're supposed to want to be in a relationship with me and stay in a relationship with me, maybe because something for you didn't work out. Maybe you feel stuck, and maybe you're looking for a new friend or a new relationship. But the high vibe people have already been in friendships and relationships and workplaces with people who are like that, and they did put in maybe a lot of work and effort to try to move things forward. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy, of trying to change, because the fives are about change, and the Page of Swords try to change other people's truth. It's very hard to change people's general philosophy and outlook on life. What they think is just and fair in a relationship. What they think, if they're more, well, we live in the world. The world says we should make our life about these things. If we do these things and we dress this way and we act this way, or we have a certain status or image or money, or we indulge in these things, we'll look like we're living the dream. It's very hard to change people's opinion about whatever those things are that they think is going to make their life happy or fulfilling or look like they're living the dream. It's very hard to change other people's ways of viewing life. And high vibe people have already been in relationships with people who are like that. And eventually it got down to where, and some people right now could be, where people would like to move things forward, go on this new journey. I don't want to keep repeating this old pattern. You know, this can be we get in a new job, a new friendship, or a relationship. But does it just stay there? Is it just about staying stuck in something, exchanging resources, kind of indulging ourselves in it? Well, you know, we can stay in a job, a friendship, or relationship for quite a while like that, because in the Five of Wands, we have inner conflict about change, and maybe in the Page of Swords, speaking our truth. And high vibe energy is about being more independent. And, you know, we can all like the things that we have invested in. We would like them to work out. Because, you know, we kind of get, the pages can represent that we kind of get in a little more codependent energy. We would like this to work so I don't have to take that inspired action within myself, because the Five of Wands comes after the Four of Wands. I would like this to work. And so then, you know, because everybody can have inner conflict about becoming independent from something. Some people are willing to work through issues that manipulate them, temper their own egoic nature or immature nature or whatever their issues could be to change. And those people kind of emotionally grow and mature themselves. The other people, though, they didn't think maybe anybody was going to change and that we were just going to keep moving forward in it. You know, maybe because we feel stuck, or it's good for the ego or the image or the status, or make our life about these things. But if one person does start to look at life a little differently when they feel stuck, the Hangman can be about, I might have inner conflict about speaking my truth, or emotionally investing in myself and things that I find enjoyable. And then here we have the World card, and the World card can talk about closing out a cycle and learning lessons in life. And we can all get in situations in our life and go through phases of life, and it's kind of a stage of life. We were meant, you know, we're at different emotional maturity levels, and maybe in our career field, we're at different levels of our career field and our job experience per se. And we go through these phases of life, and there's a part of us that kind of, when our intuition is trying to tell us it's time to take that inspired action, that it's time for us to close out an old cycle of a way of living life or viewing life. But we have to face our fears, and we have to kind of offer, in high vibe Leo, love and encouragement to ourselves to kind of invest in our truth, that I can keep doing what I do, but it keeps making me feel stuck, and I kind of keep having inner conflict because my more creative, inspired, intuitive nature is just telling me this phase of my life is, you know, it's kind of went like I've been in a job where I've kind of learned everything I can learn there, and I'm ready to move forward in life a little differently. But then I have to face my fear of leaving that job to go get a new job. I could have been in friendships and relationships with people, and could it have been beneficial and good for everybody? Yeah, in different ways. But then how people maybe want to move forward again from the Four of Wands being in a foundation to the Five of Wands, what inspires us in how we want to move forward, and kind of more about what our truth is. The King and Queen of Pentacles can represent things in the work field area and just the world and in family dynamics. So people got to make those decisions in those areas. If they feel like things aren't moving forward the way they wanted, the way other people are wanting things to move, and kind of what they're kind of driven and motivated by and looking for. And if some people are more, I want you to keep moving forward with us, but I might have inner conflict about the truth, but I want you to stay here. But, oh, by the way, I am not willing to learn lessons. If I am kind of immature and bossy or controlling or more about myself or more immature, by the way, I'm not going to change. But I want you to stay here, and then we can feel stuck. Because it's like, oh my gosh, if I keep moving forward with this, I've been kind of illuminated to the truth that I can be a loving and encouraging, supportive person and work together with people cooperatively. But if the other people I'm working with aren't doing that, or significant ones that can make your life kind of miserable, and some of the people who are more shadowy, that's, every time, well, they might not be consciously aware of it, because if we're kind of more immature, the Fool can talk about people kind of acting in ways that, they might not even be aware of, that, well, that's immature, that's bossy, that's selfish, you're being stubborn, you're being immature. But they have inner conflict about acknowledging that truth to themselves. And they do in the Fool card. It's kind of like a pattern that when they get in situations and it gets to where other people could even be loving and encouraging and supportive, but that requires them to kind of quit being more about themselves and indulging their more immature nature. And they have this inner conflict about even acknowledging that truth to themselves. It's kind of like they're a bad mother, father to themselves in their own head. And they say, you don't have to do that, pumpkin. You don't have to emotionally grow and mature yourself. You don't have to do equal give and take with people. People should want to be in a relationship with you. People should be fighting to be in a relationship with you, honey. Look at your status and your image and maybe how you present yourself in the world, or your social clout or whatever, or they're just narcissistic and full of themselves. But they kind of indulge this illusion that they can keep exchanging resources with people, operating from this more stubborn, prideful, competitive, egoic, immature way of being. And they might not some people are able to temper that better than other people. Some people are constantly acting immature, and they keep repeating. The Fool card can be they keep repeating some old patterns. Other people see the truth. Other people are inspired to move away from them. They're like, shit. In the Hangman, like, damn, there goes another one. And another person doesn't really want to be around me. But then, because they have inner conflict about the truth, they decide not to see the truth, because the world can talk about ending something. You're either learning lessons and closing out a way of being, or you're putting an end to learning the lesson. Nope. I'm going to keep being more about me and I'm going to go repeat this old pattern and I'll just go find someone else to do this with. And some of them, they could keep feeling stuck. They could keep having conflict and fighting with other people in their life or their workplace. There could be tension between them and other people. The other people see the truth that you're kind of immature and we all wish you would grow up. And eventually some of those people might be, if it's a workplace, I'm done. You can go. You seem to have not learned some lessons in life that some other people have learned to how to get along more cooperatively with people in the world. So they'll wish them peace, and the same things can happen in friendships and relationships. Over and over, people have been offering love and encouragement to people, and the people who are like, oh, well, that would require me to kind of look at life differently, or quit being stubborn, or quit being more about myself, or indulging my more immature nature, or just trying to hope I can keep manipulate and control you to do it the way I want you to do it. Some of those people are going to experience some endings in their life because the high vibe people are done dealing with people like that. They are ready to go to the next phase of life where it isn't a more transactional relationship, but where it is where to be with people and work with people and invest your time, energy, and effort into people who are willing to work cooperatively with you in a more authentic, emotionally mature, stable, balanced way. Sometimes shadowy people act this way because, if you're a loving, nurturing, supportive person and you haven't learned your lesson yet, and you keep trying to put in a lot of work and effort with people to get them to like you because you're kind of in your ego, why don't they see the truth that you're a loving, nurturing, encouraging, supportive person? As long as that keeps you in your ego, that works for them. Perfect. I got me another one. I snagged me a loving, nurturing, supportive person who I can kind of act this way with, and they keep putting a lot of work and effort, thinking one day I'm going to change, and I'm going to keep staying, being me, doing my truth, until they become enlightened to the truth, and then I guess the gig is up, and then I have to go get a different job, or in a different relationship, or go find a different friend. But as long as they are not wanting to see the truth, not accept my truth, have inner conflict about accepting my truth that I don't really do just and fair, I'm really more about these other things, or willing to be in the relationship for these reasons, but not love. High vibe Leo is being authentic and loving, letting your inner child come out to play. Because you're emotionally mature enough to know that if things don't work out the way I want, in love, I can offer love to myself to work through the sadness that something didn't work out in a relationship. I can accept the truth of it, and I can pick myself back up, and I can move on. Some other people have a lot of things that can manipulate them. Their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, their want for these certain things in the world, or to indulge in these certain things of the world. And all those things kind of could cause them inner conflict because they have their more hopeful, believing inner child nature within themselves also. They have their more emotionally high vibe nature. But right now, they're more emotionally investing and aligning with, in their free will, their more egoic nature. No, I'm sure these things will make me happy. And they just haven't kind of gotten balanced within themselves. And so they're kind of a little tipped out of balance. They do whatever it is that kind of more drives and motivates them than being illuminated to the truth. It should be about love and to learn to love themselves and deal with their inner conflict, deal with their past pain and heartbreak, to be a more emotionally mature, authentic person in the world, because Leo also in high vibe is coming into your own, shining your authentic light, stepping onto the stage of your own life. This, I am being authentically myself. And there's a lot of people who just hide behind their ego and what they own and what they wear and where they go and what they do in their life. And it's all this like illusion. Look how shiny I am in the world. But they don't really live their more authentic life. It's more living life from their ego. And there could be a part of them that would like to let go of that, to be more authentically themselves. But they'd have to take that, they'd have to be inspired in Aries energy to be willing. The Six of Pentacles can talk about, well, for one, they'd have to get balance within themselves, and they'd have to look at life differently, because they're more aligning with their more worldly, egoic, or about themselves, or these things of the world. And they'd have to look at life differently. And that could be a whole different way of viewing life and viewing themselves and viewing relationships, and kind of what drives and motivates them to do what they do and why they get in the relationships and the friendships that they're in. And they'd have to kind of detach from being more emotionally invested in their worldly view of life, to be illuminated and inspired by the truth that we can be loving and nurturing and supportive people in the world and to the world, to help offer love and encouragement to other people to heal and grow and mature themselves, because it is that environment that can help heal. But those people have to make their own free will choice to kind of embrace that within themselves. And I think high vibe energy, represented by God at the big picture, is trying to emotionally encourage the world to offer love to their more worldly nature, to get more balance within themselves, to expand their perception of how they view themselves in the world around them. They have their more creative, inspired, hopeful, believing, loving nature, to try to get more balance within themselves, so we can go pursue these things of the world, but we're getting in jobs and friendships and relationships with people and things that we really enjoy doing, that are kind of inspired by our own truth. How many people get in a career field that they don't even like, but more because that makes practical, logical sense, and I'll have the status or the image or the money, but you kind of have a lot of inner conflict of even going there every day because you'd really like to end that job. You know, how many people are in friendships or relationships with people that they're not motivating and inspiring, they're not maybe authentic, they're maybe more immature or competitive. You know, when am I going to invest my time, energy, and effort into the things and the people from love that I think are loving and encouraging and supportive of me, and that I am motivated and inspired to be in that type of relationship with them? Or am I, some people though are unwilling to align with their more creative, inspired, authentic nature. Shadowy zodiac signs can be, we have to conform to the world. We need to have a certain status and image. It's important that people view us a certain way. And this is what we have to do. I don't care if I feel stuck. I don't care if it conflicts with my authentic truth. I don't care if other people have a problem with it. This is the most important thing. And they're unwilling to kind of harness their fire sign energy and kind of live their authentic truth. Except where it's kind of more about them or the world or their ego or their image. And for some, that is their truth. And that's why they don't ever plan to be inspired to ever live life any differently, look at life any differently. The Five of Wands can be that some people are very competitive in the world. They got a lot of growing up and maturing to do. Kind of immature in their thinking and their logic and their reasoning because, love is what makes it all worthwhile. And some people could think shadowy, more fire sign energy can be, well, I'm going to work somewhere. I'm going to be in a relationship, and if I'm in a relationship, I'll have sex with someone. I'll have sex with them. It's kind of a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. And maybe they got some lessons to learn about that. Other people don't want to be in jobs or friendships and relationships with people unless it's inspired by truth and love. And other people are like, that's optional. Well, they can get in relationships with other people who view life that way too. And so long as they both view life that way, it's a just and fair relationship. It just might not be a very emotionally mature relationship. It might be a more immature relationship, but they're in relationships with people who are on the same page as them. And it's unjust and unfair if someone who is more immature and more about themselves and more about these other things of the world than truth and love to be in a relationship with someone who is, but they just created an illusion they were, hoping they could trap someone like that in a relationship with them because of the world and the ego and the image that those people have mental conflict and inner conflict about getting out of it. Then it's like the devil trapped an angel in a relationship with them. And that's where high vibe people get in those situations. Yeah, do they want these things in the world? Would they like it to work out? Did they want to leave? No, they wanted those people to kind of grow and heal and mature themselves and temper their ego. And they realize I can't change other people. And if they're not willing to change, if I stay in it, I'm not in a relationship that's aligned with my truth. And high vibe people adhere to a higher truth and justice. And I'm going to get out of my more worldly egoic nature of what would people say. And I'm going to wish those people peace to go live their life like that, but they're going to have to do it with someone else. And I am going to take this leap of faith to work through my own inner conflict about detaching from that. And we can always detach from something, but emotionally, we are these emotionally complex human beings. It can take time to emotionally work through it. So we're really ready to go have that new beginning. Because high vibe people don't want to go get in a relationship with someone else for the wrong reasons. That's just opening another hornet's nest or something, right? No, I want to do this work within myself to get clearer and love myself and believe in myself. And I want to make sure whatever it was within me that I needed to change so I don't repeat that old pattern. Then I'm ready to go on my new beginning. And some people who are trying to maybe manipulate some high vibe people, now some of those people, they took the risk to try to manipulate a high vibe person. Oh, they won't love and believe in themselves. Oh, I know they love me. Oh, I bet they'll come back. But every day they tried to be stubborn and manipulative was another day the high vibe people in their life saw the truth that they weren't the type of person they thought they were. And they don't want to be in relationships with people who have such inner conflict about getting out of their stubborn nature and speaking the truth. Because everybody could know that there's love there. But what happens at the big picture, at fractals, happens at the smaller picture. And we're just playing out the bigger picture. And I think God says, offer love to the situation, go with the flow, keep doing work within yourself to expand your perception of yourself and what's possible. Your dream can only come into reality with other people who are willing and inspired to work together with you in this more high vibrational, mature energy. And we can have love for some people in our life who we, whether they're parents or adult children or whoever, that they have inner conflict about that truth, and they could be kind of stubborn, and some of them more about themselves and got some lessons to learn. Close out that cycle and go keep moving forward with the people in your life who are loving and encouraging and supportive and work together with you cooperatively. We don't have it on the board here, but it kind of makes me think of the Four of Cups, that some things are a missed opportunity. Sometimes things didn't work out, people move forward, and then other people do grow and heal and mature themselves, and they do get out of their ego. High vibe people aren't operating from their ego. They're willing to take a leap of faith in love to communicate their truth to other people. And some other people could be like, oh, I would have liked to have been in that relationship. But, if that's their truth and they're moving forward in things that aren't their truth, well, then, they could maybe get back in a relationship or a friendship. Other people can learn lessons in life, and other people are like, I'm glad you learn lessons in life, and I'm happy. We're always happy when other people break free of things that used to manipulate them, right? But I can't be in a relationship with you because I'm already in, like I took this job, I'm in this relationship, or, committed to this person or married to this person. And so just like you could have people that could feel that way towards you, some will want to be in a relationship with you. Some of them are in other relationships. Doesn't have to be people that you've known or been in a relationship with before. There can be other people who'd like to be in a relationship with you or friends with you and want to get out of their friend group. Or some of them would be like, oh, I'd like, then it would probably have to be more romantic. I'm already committed, or even just my family and my children is really my primary focus. Would I kind of like to go on some of that adventure with you and think that'd be really fun? But I might just have to be a more of an encouraging person in your life for you to go do it. But I have my commitments that I won't be able to really kind of go on it with you. And just like you could have people like that towards you as you're moving forward could have other people who either just want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you, and you're like, sorry, I've already been there and done that, and my intuition tells me that, yeah, you kind of have some of these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, or just kind of have inner conflict about telling the truth or being more authentic, and just kind of want to indulge yourself. No, thank you. And other people could communicate with you that they've learned some lessons in life, and you could be happy for some of those people, but they might have worked through some issues that manipulate them, but they have more issues that manipulate them, and they still might not see that truth, and they might have inner conflict about that. And so it's kind of like, I'm glad you worked through those things, but could be where you kind of keep some distance from them. Can still be a loving and encouraging person in people's life. Hey, I'll see you at Christmas. Hey, I'll see you around. But no. And then there could be other people that you meet, other people you've known, or people in your life. Some of those people, if those people do take action to communicate with you, if those people you feel really have been enlightened to the truth, have changed, have that more hopeful, believing nature, those are people you'll move forward with. If those people aren't taking action and communicating with you, and maybe you've been maybe feeling like you've been more than patient, there comes a time where, I'm going to let God work with them again. I put myself in there thinking, oh no, God, I can change them. And God's like, I kind of been working with them all their life and they're like this, but hey, you go, you know? And if they still aren't willing to be more independent or emotionally grow and mature themselves, if you get out of your ego, you will let me take back over and you go live your life. So what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Leo energy that they might not see coming? It's kind of too big of a clump. I need to get this. I have 2 mini decks combined, and I don't have them all in my hand because it's just too big. Okay, we had cards. Flip. Okay, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Page of Swords and the Two of Cups. So, because the high vibe people were willing to, the pages can be a small message, just trying to get along with people in the world, not being defensive, not whatever, just kind of communicating your truth, going out in the world, meeting people, communicating with people, defending and standing up for aligning with your loving nature in a way that that's what you're operating from, looking to see if other people are interested in working together with you to get to know you like as friends in an energy of love. And you could have told your truth to some people in your life that it's love, love is my truth, and it seems to be something else, your love of self or these things of the world or other people or whatever it is you want to invest in that isn't moving forward with me. Because of that, for one, standing up for your own loving nature, you are willing to stand up emotionally for what you think is just and fair and loving. So emotionally, you're standing up for high vibe King of Swords and high vibe King of Cups because that's who you are emotionally. I want truth, justice, fairness, and love. And if other people are not doing that, I'm going to hold back from you. And it all could have forced you to see the truth, that you could have been in relationships with people who harness that energy in a more shadowy way. They're more defensive to love. The Queen of Swords can be, emotionally, some people, they might present themselves as harnessing high vibe King of Swords, King of Cups, like high vibe Libra Cancer energy, like they're these just and fair and motivated by truth and love and family. But emotionally, that's not who they are. They're defensive to love. Shadowy Aquarius can be, I'm more about me, and I indulge me, I love me. And it's supposed to be more about me. I don't want to open up. I do not want to see the truth. I do not want to move forward in life differently. Or I'm more about the world and these things of the world. And the other, you saw the truth of it. And even though the Queen of Swords can be that you feel betrayed because you had a dream that you wanted to come into reality, I'd rather deal with the truth than live a lie. And the truth is, what drives and motivates you isn't looking at life from a higher perspective in high vibe Aquarius. They harness a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy, Libra energy, Cancer energy, Scorpio energy, Gemini energy, Capricorn energy, and you harness all those energies in a more high vibrational way. There's more to this world than just making it about me or these things of the world and staying in jobs and relationships because of these reasons. I have a dream that I want to invest in. And out of love for myself, I'm going to see the truth of the people I need to hold back from in my life because that isn't their truth. And then, because you are not taking action more out of ego, but taking action more out of being authentic, offering to work together with people in truth and love, I think there's going to be other people in the world who see the truth of it that emotionally are on the same page as you, that want to hold on to you and work together with you. From the 1 pentacle to the 4 of pentacles is the 3 of pentacles, working together with people and people that they want to hold on to, and being kind of defensive to the people in their life or in the social group or the community or the workplace or whatever that kind of act in these more immature ways of being. And you just deal with the truth instead of living in denial of the truth. I've learned these lessons to listen to my intuition about who's who. Anyone can present themselves any way they want. I am willing to exchange time, energy, and effort with them to kind of get to know them and find out really what drives and motivates them and what their truth is. And if my intuition tells me they're more being authentic and truthful and more emotionally mature and not more immature and competitive and defensive and wanting to get in relationships because they're mad at someone else and they want to cause that person inner conflict or get them in their ego. It's like, if you want to use people as a pawn, go find someone else, please. Okay, what's coming up for the people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Leo energy? We have the Ace of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Lovers and the Knight of Cups. Well, it's kind of like, well, for one, there's a lot of different stories. If they have some more high vibrational people in their life that have been trying to work together with them in truth and love, some of those people, they're motivated and inspired by love, and some of those people are going to move on. Because the other people in their Gemini free will choose to align with not willing to learn lessons in life and invest in love. So they're going to have some people in their life who move on from them. You know, how long do we offer love and encouragement and being supportive and encouraging, but some people are just like, that's great, you keep doing that. It's like, well, you're supposed to, you know, like most people, you, in an environment where people are being loving and encouraging and supportive, you kind of work through some of these issues that cause you inner conflict, or your competitive nature, or your selfish nature, or other people in your life who are bossy and controlling and manipulative, to work through that so you can let it go and be independent of it. And then we can all move forward in life differently. But some of the people are like, well, no, this is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for someone like you to be loving and encouraging and supportive of me. I don't think that's my job. I thought that's your job. What? That you get to be stuck or be conflicted or be competitive or be immature and you never have to grow up and mature yourself? Yeah. That's how I thought it worked. That's my idea of the dream relationship. And you can even have friends or people in your life that are like that. No, you play that role in my life. I don't want to have to learn how to do that within myself. That's why I'm in a relationship with you. You're supposed to be that person for me. But I will not be that type of person for you, and I'm not that type of person to myself. And other people see the truth of it, and other people move on. Until you learn to work through some of these issues within yourself so you can work together with people more cooperatively, I'm going to let someone else play that role in your life. And some of those people, if they have new people in their life, and if that person seems to have inner conflict about the truth and is willing to keep moving forward with them in a relationship, they'll keep moving forward in it. As long as they got someone who's willing to indulge them or motivated and inspired by the same things they are, they'll keep moving forward with those people. And that's why we have to see the truth. If people were more motivated and inspired to invest their time, energy, and effort into things that we enjoy doing or being in a relationship with us, they would. But that's not their truth. And we get out of our ego about it because when we were in it with them doing it, maybe it's a little bit more the way they wanted to, we kind of felt stuck and had some inner conflict about being in and living our life that way because it wasn't our truth. And if we want to have our dream come into reality, we need to love ourselves, maintain balance in our worldly nature and our loving nature. And that's when we're kind of in alignment with creative, inspired energy represented by God at the big picture, where we're trying to give birth to a dream, and other people might be happy to invest in the illusion. Oh, you want to be in a relationship? Yeah, I'll get in a relationship. Will it look like this and be viewed this certain way? Okay. Do you want to be in a relationship because you have inner conflict about not being in a relationship? Yes. Okay. You want to get married because you feel stuck and you want someone to exchange resources with you? Okay. I think eventually, well, if they both are on the same page, those people they found someone who's on the same page as them, and that's good. We would rather have them in a relationship with someone who views life and lives life the way they do than have them out trying to kind of confuse other people about the truth of who they are. So, and I think the divine works with people who are enlightened to the truth. We do have more to work with in this world than just these things of the world. We have creative, inspired life force energy that wants to give birth to new things. And so as we do that, I think we will close out an old chapter. Here we have people holding the one sword, the one cup. The Page of Swords holds the one sword. That means we closed out a cycle and got to the Ten of Swords. And that means we ended an old cycle, and then we get to have this new beginning. We've seen who we can have new beginnings with, and who we can't, and who is more inspired by our truth and who isn't. And you just detach from your more worldly view of life to look at life differently and offer truth and love to people to maybe help other people work through their inner conflict about. And I think the divine's going to help you manifest what you want to manifest in the world. And I think you will look and be very stable within yourself, very abundant, and other people see the truth that you are someone who is who you say you are. You do act with character and integrity. You are truthful and authentic and loving and are willing to learn lessons in life. And they know they could get in relationships with people and just create the illusion. Be in a relationship with other people who are just creating an illusion. And they're like, I don't want to do that either. I want to hold on to people who aren't being in a relationship with me more for those other reasons. And I don't want to be in a relationship with someone else for those other reasons. I want to be in relationships with people whose truth is love. We're either living our authentic life in authentic, creative, inspired, loving relationships with people who challenge and encourage us to love and believe in ourselves and work through our self-limiting beliefs, or we can get in relationships with people who indulge us staying the same, where we don't emotionally grow and mature ourselves. And we have the free will to do whatever we want. And some people don't want to look at life any differently. People don't want to step out of their comfort zone, don't want to look at life from any other perspective, want to keep being just more about themselves or these things of the world. And they don't even like it. It causes them inner conflict when they're around people who kind of don't maybe make their life about those things. Well, aren't you impressed by what I wear? What about how much money I have? What about if I told you where I went on vacation? What about if I tell you what job I have? Are you going to want to be in a friendship or relationship with me then? And the other people are like, for those reasons? No. I want to see if you're someone who's inspired to work together with me cooperatively in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. And they're like, no. Okay. So there you go, Leo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.